Before humanity knew the atom, Aristotle already believed the world was made of something more subtle. Not matter, but balance. For Aristotle, the universe was not merely a collection of moving objects. It was a harmony between four elements: earth, water, air, and fire. Not just physical, but spiritual in quality. Earth was cold and dry. Water, cold and moist. Air, warm and moist. Fire, warm and dry. Four characters dancing together to form all of reality. From the human body to the night sky, everything was a mixture of these four. But the world was not made of only four colors. Aristotle knew something was missing. How do stars burn without being consumed? Why do planets move in such perfect order? So he added a fifth element: ether, the celestial substance that existed only in the heavens. Invisible, unchanging, yet the foundation of cosmic order. Beyond fire and earth, there was an unseen balance that kept the heavens from collapsing. Aristotle did not see nature as a machine, but as something alive. And every object in this world had a soul. To modern humans, that might sound mystical, but to Aristotle, life was not merely a beating heart. He divided existence into three levels of soul: the vegetative soul, in which lives and grows; the animal soul, in which feels and moves; the rational soul, which thinks and understands. In his view, nature was a chain of life, where every being had its own rightful place. Yet the more he observed, the more he realized the boundaries between beings were not so clear. Some animals could think, some humans merely reacted. Could it be that nature wasn't as hierarchical as he imagined? Aristotle concluded, the soul was not a separate entity, but the form of living potential itself. Nature was not a dead stage, but an eternal drama where consciousness played its role. If the earth were a body, then the sea was its blood, the air its breath, and fire its heart. Aristotle saw the world in a way no one had before. He mapped the earth not as a dead sphere, but as a cosmic organism that breathed. The land rose to form mountains. Water flowed to find balance. The wind carried warmth and cold. Every movement, a pulse in nature's living heart. Yet he noticed something strange. The stars did not follow earthly logic. They did not decay, they did not change, they did not age. Could the heavens obey different laws? He concluded that reality was divided in two: the mortal realm beneath the moon, and the eternal realm above it. The earth was the domain of change, while the sky a reflection of perfection. Two worlds, one system of life. While the Greeks were busy worshiping gods, Aristotle bowed instead toward the sea, searching for life's secret in the dark. He studied jellyfish, octopuses, and shallow sea fish on the island of Lesbos. No laboratories, no microscopes, only eyes, hands, and unending curiosity. He wrote Historia Animalium, the first encyclopedia of life in human history. Hundreds of species described in detail, from anatomy to behavior, from feeding to birth. But when he dissected a stingray and found an embryo within, the ancient world trembled. How could life grow from something unseen? Was life created from within or bestowed from without? Aristotle rejected the idea of instant creation. To him, life unfolded gradually, from potential into actuality. This concept would later become the foundation of modern embryology. Why does an apple fall to the ground? For Aristotle, not because of gravity, but because it was seeking its home. Everything, he said, has a natural purpose. A stone falls because it longs to join the earth. Fire rises because it wishes to return to the heavens. Every motion, not accident, but destiny. But this raised a greater question. If all things have purpose, what is the ultimate purpose of the universe itself? His answer shocked the world. Everything moves toward one thing: the unmoved mover. The first cause of all causes, the pure being that sets existence in motion. To some, that was God. When others looked at a falling star, they saw beauty. Aristotle, he saw an anomaly. The heavens, he said, should never change. So what has just fallen? For the ancient world, stars were divine beings that circled eternally in the sky. But Aristotle rejected the myth. He wrote of the heavens not as paradise, but as a perfect mechanism driven by ether. The fifth element, uncorrupted, unborn, undying. He imagined the cosmos as concentric spheres, each star and planet revolving in fixed harmony, not by magic, but by natural order that could not be broken. Yet one night in Stagira, Aristotle saw a flash in the sky and a new star. He watched it for a long time, then wrote quietly, "If the heavens can change, then even perfection can fracture." He did not know. 2,000 years later, Galileo would prove him wrong. But it was Aristotle's courage to define perfection that allowed us to one day question it. The heavens lost their purity, but the human mind gained its freedom. If the universe could speak, its language would be, logic, and Aristotle was its first translator. For Aristotle, the world was not a mystery. It was an argument. Every motion had a cause. Every change had a reason. Everything had its why. He built logic the way an architect builds a temple. Premises, conclusions, structure, all resting on rational foundations. Logic was not just a tool for thought, but a way to understand the architecture of the cosmos itself. Because for Aristotle, truth was not found. It was constructed, yet logic too was dangerous. For if all things must have a cause, what is the cause of the first cause? Can the universe itself be explained by the very logic it obeys? Aristotle saw that paradox and wrote of the unmoved mover. The highest truth is not the result of reasoning, but the stillness that sets all things in motion. For Aristotle, thinking was not just the mind's work. The body too was part of thought. At the Lyceum, he led his students walking while they debated. Philosophy to him was not sitting in ivory towers, but moving, observing, feeling the world. He believed body and soul were inseparable. The body was the soul made visible. Without movement, there was no life. Without life, no thought. He even wrote about anatomy, arguing that the heart, not the brain, was the center of life. To Aristotle, blood was not just fluid, but the energy that connected humans to nature. Yet when he realized the heart could beat without thought, he began to doubt. Could the body know more about life than the intellect itself? That question opened the door to modern science. Ironically, a wrong theory of the heart sparked the truest understanding of observation. Aristotle did not leave behind palaces nor wield swords. He left only words, and those words conquered the world. From Alexandria to Baghdad, from Cordoba to Paris, Aristotle's works crossed civilizations and tongues. Muslim scholars translated his logic into Arabic. Christian theologians rebuilt it into theology. Even Renaissance scientists could not escape him. He became the foundation of all Western thought. Yet every generation challenged him in its own way. Some praised him as a prophet of reason. Others burned his works beneath church altars. But none could erase his name from the history of the mind. From the dust of ancient libraries, Aristotle still whispers, "Do not believe me. Observe for yourself." And that sentence became the birth of modern science. If the universe itself had a mind, it would think like Aristotle. This philosopher believed, to understand nature is to understand the self. For the laws of reason and the laws of nature are one and the same. He wrote that knowledge was not about conquering the world, but about realizing our place within it. Every motion, every change, is the echo of a universal intellect working in silence. Yet in his old age, as the world changed and his students went off to war, Aristotle looked to the sky and said, "Everything I have ever understood about the world, I learned from the world itself." His final words were like a prayer, a confession that man is not the master of the universe, but the mirror through which the universe sees itself.